Good morning, everybody. It's the Papa Russ Show again. And I'm here with Sydney and Robert. And this morning, well, hello, guys.
Hello.
Oh, hi.
I didn't even know you were here today.
I'm so glad y'all are welcome. Oh, gosh. So, I want to start this off with something that we tried to record before, and it got totally messed up. This is what? Try number 312 in a 5-month period?
Something like that, yeah.
So
We'll get there eventually.
I'm not so sure. We just keep crashing. That's my segue into. I'll never forget the time I went to Sydney's house. And as I was going home, I had a parked car.
And how'd you do that?
Well, a car was coming over the hill in front of me, blinded me. I didn't see this black Dodge truck in the middle. It was very late at night. And so I wrecked into it. And, well, I called my wife. She called Sydney. Come to find out it was my wife's uncle that I totaled both the trucks. All right, come on, guys. Come on. Okay,
well, I mean...
And thus Matthew McConaughey was born.
I hit a parked car. That's the thing. I hit a parked car. Y'all don't have any jokes for that this morning?
Well, I mean, no, it wasn't a car you hit. It was a truck.
But still.
And that's even worse because even though it was late at night and it was a dark colored truck, it was a truck.
That wasn't moving.
The only good thing is the officer didn't give me a ticket.
I mean, no one also reported you either.
This is true. This is true.
You should have reported them.
Yeah, well.
I've had my fair share of accidents too. So
Well, have you ever had a parked car hit?
Yes, my car has been hit 3 times when it was parked. One of which was by an RV trying to squeeze into a small gap in a parking space. They had all the space in the world, and they chose right beside my car. They also didn't know how to drive an RV. And they were also from Canada and spoke French.
We.
So trying to get their insurance paperwork was a nightmare. And trying to call their insurance was also a nightmare.
Well, I did feel bad. But now, I don't feel so bad, but still pretty bad.
You should. You're the only person we know that can manage to hit a parked car.
Thanks,
well, there was
man.
also the RV.
But you weren't the one driving.
Your car was parked. I wasn't.
At Walmart. I was working.
Hey, Rusty.
And they
park!
That brings me to another person.
No, okay. I was working, and they called me over the intercom. They said, would the owner of a black Ford Focus with plates please come to customer service? I was working, and I showed up. I walked up to customer service, and I see this elderly couple who did not speak English trying to get me to go outside and look at my car. And also, this came just a week after being hit out in front of my house by a drunk driver and just having my car fixed.
So,
at least you didn't do what this person did. Check this shit.
Well, we'll get to that in just a second. The thing is, when I hit this other truck, I flattened both of their back tires.
How?
By hitting their vehicle that was parked. I mean, that was just a flat-out hit and run. But I didn't run. I just couldn't see it.
Then it was just a hit, not a run.
Well, that's what she said. But anyway, we'll leave that alone. Anyway, this other person. The brakes had went out in their bread truck. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm going to call them Bocephus for the sake of this conversation.
Was it you?
No.
No.
Do you know? All right. His name's Luke Hurst. He's going. I'm gonna have some recordings of Luke Hurst in the future for the show, and I've got them on my phone. I've let you hear them before.
Yes.
So here I'm introducing Luke Hurst to our catching up weekly whatever. It's getting to know us section. And if you don't know us, rewind it and replay it till you know something about us. So I hit parked cars. Robert has had his parked cars hit. Well, we don't know about Sydney yet.
We make really good friends. We have something in common here.
Sydney, we're not sure of yet. But he doesn't like to drive in the snow, but that's for another moment.
You live in Virginia, and you don't know how to drive in the snow. Or you don't like to drive in the snow.
Nobody said I don't know how to. I just don't like it.
And you live in Virginia.
Yep.
I mean, I know the weather's messed up right now, so that doesn't apply, but
It's always
normally
messed up.
it's Virginia.
All year
I
round.
didn't know he was going to the Weather Network, okay?
Yeah. All year round, you gotta make sure you have on you a pair of shorts, flip flops, short sleeve shirt, long sleeve shirt, pants, snowshoes, jacket.
This is why there's always an umbrella, a jacket, and an extra shirt to put over top of my shirt in my car at all times.
And this weather has been brought to you by Sunbeam Bread. And we're not sponsored by anybody, but if Sunbeam Bread wanted to, they
Give
could.
us a message on our Facebook page.
This other person, Luke, his brakes were out. And so he had been told to downshift it. But what he didn't understand was you downshift one gear at a time.
Oh, no.
And instead of just downshifting one gear at a time, he comes up to a stop sign, not shine, but stop sign. Got my nose fixed, now my mouth don't want to work. And he goes straight to park. He went straight to park and tore his transmission up out of his truck.
Good job.
He totally just wrecked the truck.
Good job, genius.
You don't even know the guy. That is awesome. Good job, genius. Luke the Genius Hurst. That's what he's going to be called by this show from now on.
Mr. I got 8 brothers, count myself.
That's what he said one time. We were talking. He said, I got 8 brothers counting myself. Well, you're a genius. And he was supposed to be named Mary Beth. They thought he was going to be a girl.
That must have been a surprise.
Yeah.
Not going there.
Stop it. His family tree's pretty messed up, too. I can wait. Wait till he hears this show. Marshall! His family tree goes straight up.
Oh, no.
His grandparents are the same people on both sides.
He's his own grandpa.
You think we're joking. You think we're joking.
Was he born in Alabama?
No. He was born in Virginia.
Oh, no. Did he have any descendants from Alabama?
I think they were from West by God.
Wait, what? West Virginia?
You gotta remember he's from there, dude.
Yeah,
It's the joke.
Hey, you're peeking. Careful.
That hurts. That hurts.
Yeah, no. Don't go there. We don't talk about that.
Oops. I did it again. I hit a nerve.
It's a little too early for that, Robert.
Well, we're going to segue away from that point right now.
Oh, no, I was having too much fun with that.
What happened is I'm getting all choked up. You guys are killing me. Let me get over it.
Well, if we don't do it, one of your jobs will.
That's true. One of the 3? Yeah. Yeah, guys, listen. He was born and raised in a horse and buggy Mennonite church. And they don't believe in marrying outside of their own church or their own kind, their own religion. We're not discriminating. That's just something that goes on. And he has since left that church and goes to a Church of God, which, look, I'm not here to pass judgment on anyone. Y'all should know that about me already.
Yeah.
You live for God the way you believe, and that's where you move on. And So there's a lot of good people in a lot of different churches. It's just some people carry some things a little too far. And I think the Bible speaks for itself, but sometimes we get lost in translation. We get lost in making up man-made rules. But that's neither here nor there. We need to just live by the book and not what a man says. That's my personal opinion. Live for God and don't live by people's rules. But, yes, he had the same grandparents on both sides. And one time he was trying to explain his family tree to me. Well, there was a rabbit right there that was his daughter's, his stuffed animal. And as soon as he got done, I started beating him with it. And I said, don't ever explain your family tree to me again. And that's about where it ended. And that's all I got to say about that. So,
are you sure he's going to be okay with this conversation?
Oh, ask him. I pick on him about it all the time.
Okay. Yeah, but the difference is it's not on the internet for everyone to hear.
I'll let him hear it. I'll even pull it up on the internet and let him hear it. And if he wants to punch my lights out, he can punch me out. If I come in here one day with the black eyes, guess what? I talked to Luke. Let the good times roll. Okay, now we're going to segue into the next conversation. Okay, this is a re-record of a show that we tried to do, but because of technical difficulties, we had to recreate.
Mainly technical difficulties would be we were recording in a room with horrible acoustics, and there was nothing I could do to fix that, despite my editing prowess.
Which is very good. On a rating of 1 to 10, he gets about a 15.5. Okay.
I wouldn't go that far. I'd say like a 6.
Well, I'm giving you a 16, so get over it.
Okay.
The next thing I'm going to say is, do any of us have regrets from our high school days? And I'll start with Sydney.
Yes,
he hadn't
please.
said too much.
Speak up.
Now it's your turn, Sydney.
No kidding.
Has the cat got your tongue?
Nope. There's a lot that I regret, but...
Well, then talk to us. Pick one at the moment.
Hard to pick this one.
I'll tell you what. If you pick just one right now, I'll have a regret segment every show for the next 10 years.
Oh, God. That sounds like incentive to not choose.
Okay, do you want multiple choice?
I'd probably have to say pressure pointing someone to the wall with my thumb.
Okay. I'm not going to ask who.
Yeah. No.
We don't know. We really don't want to know that story. Actually, maybe a little.
No. I'm not going into that.
Was it a good friend? Did it ruin a friendship?
Yeah, it ruined it. Oh, yeah.
How close were you to this person?
I'd rather not say.
Well, I will say, in that instance, he was probably pretty close.
Oh, no, that's a real knee slapper, guys. Why am I hitting my elbow? Okay, now I'm going to switch it over to Robert. Do you have any regrets from your past?
Not really, no.
Not even getting rid of a car?
Oh, yeah, there's that. Getting rid of my first car. That was a horrible regret.
What kind of car was it?
It was a 1994 Chrysler LeBaron convertible. I love that little car. Even though the roof leaked, it didn't have a back window. It leaked oil. The windows regulars were broken, so you couldn't roll down any of the windows. It had a cracked headlight, so that water got into it. It was still a good car.
Sounded like it needed to be put out of its misery.
That's why I went to Well, I was going to get it fixed, and that's why I started working where I did. Yeah, that didn't happen. It died.
It died. Okay. Yes. I have regrets. My regret in high school probably was not asking someone out that I should have that liked me. And in high school I didn't speak up. I didn't talk. Believe it or not, I didn't. And now they can't get me to shut up.
Yes, hallelujah, amen. Give him 5 more minutes.
Bless him, Lord. I'm coming to a close as a Pentecostal preacher. All right. Anyway.
You know what they say about Pentecostals? They'll make it to heaven if they don't run past it.
Yeah, you've told me that a time or two.
Sounds legit.
Whoops, there it is. Reverse.
Bark!
Here we go again. We needed a speed bump, not a detour, mister.
I can't help I make DD.
All right, so did you make time to look up, what was it, HR 127?
HR 127.
Oh boy, here we go. This is the part of the show where some people will probably stop watching.
It's hard to watch something that's only audio.
Either way, get to the point, Mr. Wise Guy.
There will be video, just a still image, but there will be video.
Oh, God.
Did you save that picture of the wrecked truck?
Yes.
Okay. That's the video, buddy. So if you wreck and burn, that's what we're going to call you, is McConaughey.
All right.
All right.
I swear, one day we need to share high school photos.
Oh, hell no. No. Nope.
Yes, Sydney, I'm going to call your dad.
And I'm going to tell him no. That's one thing we don't need to get into.
Oh, yes, we do. It's on. It's on like Donkey Kong. All right, get to HR 127 before I run out of material.
So HR 127 is something that is important for all gun owners to know about. Basically what it is, it establishes a process for licensing and registration of firearms. It'll also prohibit... I've inherited your...
Speech impediment? Well, if you didn't get it from him, you got it from me.
I don't know.
That's all, folks.
Moving on, it'll also prohibit the possession of certain ammunition and large capacity ammunition feeding devices.
Just so y'all know, while he's gathering his thoughts again, we don't discriminate or hate. We love to pick on everyone just the same.
Yeah.
And you'll probably get your share long enough, too.
So basically, it's the government trying to further limit your Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms. And this is just a part of the ongoing attack on the Constitution that the Democrats are making right now. Our president, for lack of a better term, has this belief that the Constitution is not absolute.
Why?
Which is a very dangerous, radical thought process. He thinks that it's not written in stone. It can be changed or amended at any time. It seems like now like they're on a war path to pretty much destroy the Constitution. And
okay, so
I don't know how to.
That's one aspect of it. Is there? So what you're telling me is HR 127 is a way to try to limit the people to get what they want. Mm-hmm. In a way, in a sense of saying a word, in a sense.
It greatly limits, like I said, our Second Amendment. What kind of firearms we can have. What it can fire, how many rounds you can have.
So, as an economy, how does this affecting the economy?
Oh, that's going to have a big effect because firearms are a big commodity here in the U.S. I mean, That's one of the highest selling things here in the States.
Okay. The southern part of the United States is where we all live. Even though Virginia is Virginia, it's not really considered north or south, really.
It just kind of exists.
Yeah, it exists right here in the middle. It's Virginia. That's the only way to explain it. We all know we live here.
Really?
It's really not part of the... It was a part of the original southern states. We know that.
Yes, it was.
It was a part of the original Union. It was the only state that separated and created another state, which was West Virginia in the Civil War.
And that was a horrible idea.
You're from there, so why would you call it a horrible idea when you're from the state that was born in the Civil War?
And you had the audacity to stop the show and rag me for like 5 minutes about making a West Virginia wise crap.
It was a horrible idea. I'm not biased.
Okay.
No, I'm not a hypocrite. I don't take sides just because that's where I come from.
He just made a statement. I didn't understand the statement at the moment, okay? So, all right. It is what it is. But when it comes to gun ownership, now listen to this. Here's something I'm going to add to this little conversation. My youngest son, who's 22, he voted Democrat, and yet he's buying guns.
Then he clearly doesn't understand what's going on or what they're doing. Because, I mean, like I said, they're trying to...
I know I'm taking us down a road that we shouldn't be going down because, well, we're the TTN. This is why we started this network, was to stand up and for what we believe in. Mm-hmm. And guess what, people? I'm just going to go ahead and introduce us in this way. You got 2 conservative Republicans and a libertarian sitting right here. We're going to get into that someday down the future. And we're not going to disagree. We're going to get along because I think that Robert helps me understand an element of politics that I didn't understand before, okay? I think Sydney helps me understand things I may not have understood before.
But I wouldn't consider myself a true libertarian either.
Well, I wouldn't consider myself 100% hardcore conservative all the time either, because you got to determine what's best at the moment. What you got to look at it through the broad picture. You mean,
and don't just make your decision based upon party lines.
That's
where all our issues are stemming from. Is people want to sit on a side and will not acknowledge any good thing from the other side, even if it is actually good. And both sides do that.
Right.
I think the last time that both sides actually worked together for the good of this nation was during the presidency of John F. Kennedy.
Exactly. Ever since then, a circus.
I'm gonna tell you something.
Yeah.
The Democrat Party, the Democratic Party of John F. Kennedy's time is actually the Republican Party of today. I'm just gonna say it like it is. The Republican Party of that day was so far right, it makes the right of today look like liberals. It really does. If you go back and look at history, I'm just being honest.
Can't go back and look at history for long. It's all being whitewashed or erased like it never happened.
That's true.
But that's, again, another story for another day.
But anyway, we're kind of having a round table rapid fire today. If you haven't noticed.
Again, the first couple episodes are just throwing an idea of what it's going to be like.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, HR 127 is restricting our rights, and it's taking away our right to privacy. To be able to have firearms without, public database, so anybody can look you up and see exactly what you have.
We believe in the Second Amendment of this show, and that's one thing I will back up. All right, Robert. As a quick overview, we're just kind of doing the rapid fire thing. Did you bring anything to the table from the tech industry?
I have not. It's pretty much been the same thing that's been going on for like the last year. Nothing new or exciting this time around.
Okay. That's fine.
Wait. Hold on.
Reverse.
Tesla. I know it's not technically tech, but Tesla, it's a car company that's based around tech.
Tesla, yes.
Did you hear about the whole Tesla's autopilot, testing of autopilot ended up running over someone?
Oh, really?
Yeah. Tesla has been testing this autonomous driving feature, which allows the car to basically drive itself. Right now, it's limited. Like, Tesla's, at the moment, they can steer themselves on, like, a freeway, make quick lane changes. Mm-hmm. But you still have to be there. They can't, like, completely drive themselves. It's more like just keeping a lane and a speed and changing lanes as need be. But they are working to get a fully autonomous driving system. So basically, you tell the car where you want to go and it goes. And during a testing, I think it was last week, it ran over a couple people and killed them.
Oh, Tesla.
Oh,
Your
yeah.
stock price is going to drop now.
Yeah.
Sorry. There, I went to the I went to the stock market.
He goes into that. It made me think. Going back into the world of automobiles, I heard somewhere that in the future, all automakers are going to start making their vehicles electric. And that Ford is looking at making an electric Mustang. What are your thoughts on that?
You know what? Okay, so as much as I am kind of biased because I love combustion engines, the sound they make is, and they're more, let's be honest, 90% of the fun of a car is the sound. It doesn't matter if it's fast. If it doesn't make a noise, what's the point? But I will say, not trying to be biased, there are a lot of benefits to electric vehicles.
Spoken like a true man.
And I'm going to make a comment right now. If you hear some background noises today from our show, that it sounds like we're sitting outside, guess what? We're recording this in a park in Stanton, Virginia, the Gypsy Hill Park. One of the most beautiful parks I've ever seen in my travels in the United States. Maintained by a city. I will say it's a very beautiful park.
It is. You ever get a chance to see it? It's really nice, especially during the fall.
Yes.
Because it's lined with trees out through here.
It is.
Fall, you come out here, it's an amazing sight.
And this has been brought to you by the city of Stanton, VA, home of the Statler brothers.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, the Statler brothers.
A lot of people have forgotten about that, actually.
Sydney, don't get me started about the Statler brothers, because you know I will pick on your wife when it comes to
I will say, we probably should be back on track, because we're already hitting 27 minutes.
Well, we can just chop and do whatever with this show. If you know what, this can be at the end of it, and if you can separate the clip I'm about to use, okay, and you can put it at the end of the first one, we can turn this into a 2-part show. I don't care.
Okay, so going back to the whole auto thing, there are a lot of benefits to electric cars, though. They are. I mean, yeah, they are way, way more polluting in the beginning. The ability to manufacture the lithium batteries, that's really bad for the environment. Way worse than any oil mining or anything like that. And lithium is volatile. It's unpredictable and incredibly unstable.
Right. You hear news reports all the time of electric cars.
Remember when Boeing was working on the electric jets a few years ago and the batteries kept exploding?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, well, there's that. So it is really hard to mine because unlike oil where you kind of know what to avoid to keep it from exploding, lithium you don't. It's extremely volatile. And also it's way more scarce than oil.
You alright?
Yeah, I'm good. Okay. It's a very rare resource. So in the future they do need to, and not like long term, like very near future, if they do shift to this, they're going to have to start looking at other materials because that's not going to work. But in the long term, after the car is made, it only takes about 6 months on the road for the car to surpass a gas engine in efficiency. And from that point on, the amount of emissions they make, even factoring in like the power plants and everything like that, is about 80% less than a gas engine. And also, electric cars make a lot more torque and power. Yeah. So there's that.
So what you're telling me is, number one, it's 80% more efficient in 6 months or longer.
Yeah. That's to recoup the damage they've done and get, as efficient as a gas engine. And then from there, it's just way more efficient.
I mean, to a point, I can see how an electric vehicle in the future would be good for the environment, but at the same time,
there's still...
you got to look at where that electricity comes from. Look at how much pollution that power plants put out to create that.
And like I said, though, that...
it seems kind of contradictory.
It is. Or it does at first, but I've really done a lot of research into it. Even factoring in the power plants for the car to keep charging. And this is factoring in everything. That car's net emission is only about, on average, the average long-range electric vehicle only puts about 2 tons of CO2 in the air a year. That's factoring in, like I said, the power plants that supply them energy and all that. While a normal gas vehicle traveling at the national average of 12,000 miles a year will put about 15 tons of CO2 in the air a year.
So we're looking at a reduction of about 13 tons of CO2 per year.
Yep.
you're looking at a little over 1 ton a month.
Mm-hmm.
And that
Less. Let me throw in the word less.
But
Yep.
you keep throwing out,
but like
another
us,
thing about the environment, though, you keep throwing out CO2 stats. The trees also use the CO2. So that would be good for them.
yeah, but to an
If there
extent.
was a...
Because the trees have been here long before cars were. So, yeah, they do need the CO2, but it would still be better. They don't need that much.
No.
Well,
But,
it's trying to become more, I guess, earth-friendly.
like I said, like, for the plants that do, like trees that do use the CO2, I mean, they've been exposed to higher levels for so long. What kind of impact could that reduction have? You see what I'm saying?
I get you.
Well, I get that too, but look how far we've come in the last 200 years, 200 plus years as a nation.
Mm-hmm.
We've come a long way, and we're a leader in so many things that it's a good thing. That's all I can say.
The only thing I will say is, and this is not like a conversation here, this is directly to the person responsible. Ford, an SUV is not a Mustang. That's all I gotta say. It's a Mach-E. It's not a Mustang. It's a Mach-E. If you're going to make a Mustang electric. Don't make an SUV electric and call it a Mustang.
There you go. No, he's right.
Yeah.
And if you're going to make a F-250 electric car,
Don't turn it a car. Don't make it a
Exactly.
car. Exactly.
I'm sorry.
You
I
can't
think
put an F-250 badge on a car and call it an F-250. No. Same with the Mustang. You can't put a Mustang badge on an SUV and call it a Mustang. That's not what the Mustang's supposed to represent.
there you go. And for today, that's what I got. And we got the editing prowess here, so that's all we got for today. And
Yeah, I gotta cool down after that conversation because every time I think about that vehicle, it makes me angry.
yeah, and as we often say, as we draw to a close, we will see you the next time. And for now, so long, everybody.
Just